If you're new to the channel, please be sure to like, share, and of course subscribe and leave a comment down below. And also check out our partners, Nerds in the Hood, down in the description. And I hope to see you later on. Peace out.
Alright. What's up, y'all? So this video, like I said, I know I'm a little late. Usually I have these videos uploaded a little earlier, but got a new job and I have to finesse my schedule around it. And yeah, pays more hours too, you know, all that good stuff. It's hard to do so when you have a degree, and then in New York, you having a degree means absolutely nothing. But besides the point, so we're going to talk about obviously Black Lightning, and not so much like, you know, the last video I did with an episodic breakdown of certain concepts that apparently a lot of you guys liked and did pretty well. So I'm going to actually start to kind of get deeper into more specific aspects of that breakdown. And this one is more or less going to be focused on Anissa. Anissa is what we call a wild card in the series, where she's very headstrong. Don't get me wrong, she has very good intentions almost all the time, but she's very headstrong, and once she's set in her ways, it's very hard to change her mind. And how she thinks is a little different compared to her father. Her father's a little bit more experienced, obviously wiser, older, and he has a little bit more of a calm, collected when it comes to certain things for the most part. Now, Anissa's mistake in episode 1 was we saw that she took all that money from the drug dealers, or whoever that, I think it was drug dealers actually, but she took an excessive amount of money from these drug dealers, not knowing or not really paying attention to the fact that that money will be searched for. And the way that drug money works, I don't know if any of you have ever been in the hood or whatever like that, but even then, it's usually just common sense. Any money goes missing, clearly they're gonna go looking for it. They're gonna put their ear to the street and listen to anyone who either has recently come up to some new money, which would include obviously the church and whoever she decides to give that extra money towards. And then they will eventually start to weed them out and see where they're getting it from, and eventually they will make their way to Anissa. Now remember, she's not using her persona as Thunder. For some reason I always confuse their name between Thunder or Lightning. You know what I mean. I'm pretty sure it's Thunder, but if it's not, then correct me. Like I said, my memory is a little I'm trying to, you know, like I said, finesse the schedule, and my mind is all over the place right now. But like I said, she's not using her superhero persona, and she's actually going in as like almost this undercover independent, so to speak. The same way that her and Black Lightning initially got some information in season 1. I think that was like episode maybe 9-10. But you know, basically she's going undercover with her powers, and she's using that to kind of collect funds for the community. Now, like I said, with that money being missing, and with that money actually going to the church and various people, whoever she decides to give the money to, that means she's going to actually cause problems in the community. Meaning violence is about to actually get a lot worse for Freeland because of the fact that she tried to do something kind-hearted, even though it was not the best thing to do. Now, with the increased violence, as well as with the increased kind of discovery or re-immersion of these green light babies, aka, well, like I said, it was a reference to the Bang Baby, so I made that reference a couple videos ago, and you're welcome to check that out. But for the most part, they're kind of re-emerging and kind of discovering more of these people who have abilities. And we saw, what was it, the little kid, the boy whose name is Issa. Apparently they hinted at the fact that his power is actually, he's able to force people to kind of admit the truth. So I think as violence begins to increase in Freeland, people will either use their powers for their self-benefit, or we're going to eventually see those drug dealers or even Tobias start to pull these young teens off the street and recruit them a lot like they did for Khalil. Basically, this is an army arms race or whatever like that, whatever you want to call it. It's an arms race because now you have human beings who have capabilities far more powerful than conventional weapons. Even Black Lightning by himself was able to shatter a whole organization, well, relatively by himself. You know, he had his, you know, his daughters and Lynn and Gamby, but for the most part, he shattered a whole kind of government organization by himself by bringing a lot of this information to light. So these things, these people are really powerful in their own right, no matter what they actually have in terms of what abilities they might manifest. Now, the reason I bring this up is because Anissa's mistake is going to tie heavily into this whole green light situation, re-emergence, and the green light babies and all that stuff. And the reason I said it, like I said, is it's an arms race where more violence is going to go up, and then more people are going to try and recruit people who have powers, which ultimately will cause them to kind of come into conflict with people who have other abilities, and it will cause a larger scale war in this community already, and it will cause a massive amount of destruction. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you can already tell that things are pretty tight in the neighborhood already. But once again, these powers are going to kind of make their way into the school as well. Eventually, obviously, they're going to start integrating systems where they can detect people who are metahumans or people who kind of low-key kind of develop these powers later on, or whatever the case may be. But all of this will have a cascading effect and affect everything in the community because of one simple mistake that she made, and that was to simply take money, despite its good intention, and give it to the church and other people, whoever she decides to later on give that extra money to. And like I said, Jennifer's also dealing with the situation with her powers as well, and she's kind of feeling isolated from her friend because her friend feels like, oh nah, these people are freaks or whatever like that. Remember, all this is going to kind of be a cascading effect where one thing affects the other in terms of what's going to happen going forward. Remember, this whole season is focused on consequences. When you do one thing, no matter how good or bad or whatever your intentions may be, that effect will happen nonetheless, and you will have to pay some sort of consequences, and depending on the intentions as well as how you do it depends on the level of consequence. But no matter what choice you make, there will be consequences. But let me know what you think in terms of Anissa's mistake. Let me know what you think is going to happen in terms of going forward with this whole green light situation and the emergence of these abilities. And if you're new to the channel, please be sure to like, share, and of course subscribe, and leave a comment down below. And don't forget to ring that bell, and I hope to see you later on. Peace out.